it's Sabrina from Pennsylvania, and today for my entree we're going to be making a cube steak with basil cream sauce. We have a good number of herbs. We're going to have the sauce piece and some vegetables. I try to add vegetables and everything. We start with a beautiful cube steak. I've seasoned it on one side, and I put a little bit of flour because we're going to pan fry it just a little bit. The seasonings I use are just black pepper, but you can use cracked pepper, garlic powder, adobo seasoning, which my family loves. They like to add a little bit of Spanish flavor and flair to it, and regular salt. You can use any seasonings that you want, but that's what I use for this particular one. For our sauce, we're going to use Philadelphia cream cheese, which will make it nice and smooth and creamy. I have 1 bouillon cube dissolved in about 1 cup of hot water. I'm going to use a little bit of basil, and I also have some red wine. I like to use red wine when I'm using a dark colored meat, and also it adds a really nice flavor. You can get it in a 6-pack, that way you don't have to open a whole bottle and waste the bottle. Each one is about the amount of wine that you would use in the recipe. And also to thicken it up a little bit, I have a cornstarch and milk base, which is 2 cups of milk and about 6 teaspoons of cornstarch. So all these things will mix very nicely, season it very nicely, and get very, very thick. Lastly, I have chopped some vegetables. I have about half of a large yellow onion, about half of a red pepper, and about 1/4 of a yellow pepper. You can use any vegetables that you like. I put vegetables in everything from my breakfasts to my dinner and just cook them down. They add a wonderful flavor, great way of seasoning, and I buy a lot of them and chop them, bag them, and then use them for anything. You know, chop, 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 and rock. Okay, so what we're going to do is season our meat. As I said, just a little bit of pepper. Pepper goes a long way. Salt. The meat is not too thick, so you don't need to use too much seasoning, but as we go through and taste our sauce and taste our meat, we'll just add more seasoning if we need more seasoning. We're going to use adobo seasoning. You can get adobo in a couple different ways. Again, it goes by whatever your preference is. Garlic powder. As you can see, I don't measure a whole lot, depends on what I'm doing, but we'll just use a little bit of garlic powder. And lastly, flour. And this is just so that we can brown our meat. Let's take it over to the stove and start browning. I'm going to put a little olive oil in my pan. I cook with extra virgin olive oil. It's very healthy for you, and as usual, I'm trying to make it really healthy for the kids. You can cook however you want. Cooking is a matter of love. You don't have to cook it in a specific way or not. Whatever makes you feel good, whatever tastes good. Put a pan, pan fry these 2 at a time. You don't want to put too much in the pan because otherwise the temperature will drop and it will take longer. So I just want to get it crispy on both sides. So I have about 2, 4, 6 of these that we're going to cook, take them back out, and then we'll put the vegetables right inside. Now that it's browning on both sides, you don't have to cook it coldly because it's going to cook in the sauce and the inside will get cooked. Just want a little bit of crispness on the outside, just enough to take back out. Cut a little piece, make sure it's seasoned well. Okay, good. All right, eat like that, but I'm going to make a sauce, okay? These pieces are coming out, and I want you to see what I have left. Goodies, lots of goodies in this pan. What I'm going to do is put our vegetables right on top of it, let it cook for just a little bit. Yeah, a little olive oil here. I'm going to cook the vegetables, and then we're going to deglaze. A little bit of bouillon and water and the wine. Let's give this a couple minutes. Alright, now deglaze out of the pan. It's going to be the basis of our sauce. Great way to clean your bottom of your pan too. We don't need to have this on very long, because I just want to scrape the bottom pieces off, and then we're going to start building our sauce. Again, our sauce is going to be the concoction that we have with milk and cornstarch. We're going to add a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon. Whatever you drink will be the same thing you cook with. We're going to put a little bit of basil leaves in here, as well as our cream cheese. Okay? When all those things are cooked together, we'll put our meat back in and just let it simmer for a while. What I have going with this is I have a big pot of rice on, because I think this dark sauce really tastes good with rice. My mother-in-law, when I got married, they got me and my husband a 20-pound bag of rice and a 20-pound bag of beans. We eat a lot of rice and beans here. So I usually make about 4 or 5 cups a day. So definitely need to have that going. Add a little bit of our wine. Smells good. Smells fantastic. Can you see in there? Can you see that? The dark glaze, the onions and the peppers and the sauce. Oh my. The pan is completely deglazed. No goodies on the bottom. You can smell the wine. You can smell the broth and the vegetables. Now for the sauce. We're going to add our cornstarch and milk. It should thicken up really quickly. Once it starts thickening up, I think I'm going to go to a whisk because it'll be pretty fast. And we're going to add our cream cheese. This should melt in less than a minute, and we can move on. Alright. Sauce is looking good. It's nice and creamy. All the chunks of cream cheese have melted, and it's beautiful. It smells good. We're going to add a little bit of basil. About a half teaspoon of basil. Just enough to get the aroma, a little bit of the flavor. And we're going to put our meat right back in the sauce and just let it finish cooking. This smells absolutely wonderful. Meat's cooked perfectly. If you want to have a longer cook, just get a thicker cut of meat. If you want to cook it quickly, just ask the butcher to get you some thin cuts of meat. Slide the meat in there. Pour your sauce right over the top. Again, since my family eats about 5 cups of rice a day, there's lots of salt. Top that off with a little bit of parsley or whatever else you need. And some rice. Enjoy!